Today, we'll uncover 30 of the strangest coincidences in history, the kind that I'll make you question. 1. The twin brothers who died the same way. In 2002, two twin brothers in Finland died in separate accidents, both hit by trucks on the same road, 2 hours apart. The drivers didn't even know each other. 2. The reincarnated neighbor. In the 1900s, a man named George D. Bryson checked into a hotel in Kentucky, only to find the previous guest E.S. name in the register, George D. Bryson. 3. The Hoover Dam's 2 fatalities. The first man to die during its construction was J.G. Tierney in 1922. The last man to die, 13 years later, was his son, Patrick Tierney. 4. Mark Twain's comet prediction. Born when Halley's Comet appeared in 1835, Mark Twain once said he'd die when it returned. The comet came back in 1910, and he died the next day. 5. The unsinkable nurse Violet Jessup survived the Titanic, its sister ship Britannic, and another shipwreck, all while working as a nurse. 6. The Edgar Allan Poe. Time traveler? Poe wrote a novel about 4 shipwreck survivors who ate a cabin boy named Richard Parker. Years later, a real shipwreck occurred, and they ate a cabin boy named Richard Parker. 7. The 2 presidents' twin fates. Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy shared eerie similarities. Both elected 100 years apart, both shot on Fridays, both succeeded by men named Johnson. 8. The baby saved by the same man twice. In the 1880s, a man named Edwin Booth saved a child from falling onto train tracks. That child was Robert Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's son. 9. The Curse of the Titan novel. 14 years before the Titanic sank, a book called The Wreck of the Titan described a massive ship hitting an iceberg with chillingly similar details. 10. The identical car deaths. In Bermuda, 2 men died on the same scooter, hit by the same taxi, driven by the same driver, carrying the same passenger exactly 1 year apart. 11. The bullet that waited 20 years. A soldier was shot in 1893, survived, and doctors left the bullet in him. 20 years later, he sneezed and the bullet came out of his nose. 12. The baby on the Titanic and the nurse on the Olympic. 2 ships, 2 near-identical accidents, and 1 survivor who lived through both talk about fate refusing to lose. 13. The lottery that saved a man's life. In 2001, a man missed his flight because he was buying a lottery ticket. That plane later crashed, and his ticket ended up winning the jackpot. 14. The street name coincidence. The first and last battles of the U.S. Civil War were both fought near a man named Wilmer McLean, S. house the same man moved to escape the war, and it ended in his living room. 15. The twins who lived identical lives, separated at birth. Twin brothers named Jim, married women named Linda. Divorced, married women named Betty, and both named their sons James Allen. 16. The Hoover Dam dogs. 2 dogs were found during dam construction. Both died from falling debris on the same day, while workers were honoring the first dog's memorial. 17. The double hotel room murder. In 1959, a man was shot in room 304 of a hotel in Oklahoma. 2 years later, another man was shot in the same room with the same gun. 18. The Titanic passenger who predicted his own death. A passenger named Morgan Robertson once told friends he would die on a great ship crossing the Atlantic he did, aboard the Titanic. 19. The king who was reincarnated as his savior. King Umberto III of Italy met a restaurant owner who looked exactly like him, shared his birthday, and had a restaurant named King of Italy. That same night, both were shot dead. 20. The twins who lived 40 miles apart. Both married women named Betty, named their sons James Allen, and owned dogs named Toy. They only learned of each other at age 39. 21. The saved by the same coin. A soldier during WWI carried a coin that stopped a bullet. His grandson later had the same thing happen with the same coin. 22. The twins who married twins. 2 identical twin brothers married identical twin sisters, and both couples had identical twin sons. Their DNA? Almost indistinguishable from siblings. 23. The double Lincoln death. 2 men named Lincoln were murdered on the same day, one in the U.S., one in England, both by people named Booth. 24. The train twins. In 1930s New York, 2 men collided on a subway platform, both named William Wilson, both carrying the same briefcase, both bankers. 25. The stranger in the picture. A woman once took a childhood photo years later. Her husband-to-be was spotted in the background, decades before they met. 26. The man who found his own missing daughter's photo. A man in Turkey bought a second-hand book and found a childhood picture of his missing daughter tucked inside it. 27. The book that predicted World War II. A 19th-century German novel described a Führer who rises to power, starts a world war, and dies by suicide in a bunker. 28. The repeating license plate. In Spain, 2 cars collided, both had the same license number. Police thought it was a glitch in the system, but it wasn't. 29. The man who survived 2 atomic bombs. Tsutomu Yamaguchi survived Hiroshima and Nagasaki, both explosions, just days apart. 30. The Titanic coincidences never end. There was a ship named Titanian that came to the rescue of another iceberg-hit vessel on the Titanic's anniversary in almost the same spot. Which one blew your mind the most? Drop it in the comments and subscribe Quirky Factopia for more mysteries that prove truth is stranger than fiction.